Hello, and welcome to the Earth Chats podcast. I'm your host, Sahara. I'm an activist, writer, speaker, and listener with a passion for creating change in our world. Join me and special guests weekly as we have inspiring conversations and reveal insightful knowledge, tips, and tricks on how you can live more mindfully on this planet. Tune in every Wednesday and make sure to hit subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest episodes. And now, without further ado, let's get on with the episode. As a special gift to our listeners, BMDM Digital has created a 52-page free social media training guide that will help you ignite your social media. You can download your free copy in the link below. And now, without further ado, let's get on with the rest of the episode. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to another episode of Earth Chats. I'm really excited today because today is a solo episode, the first solo episode of the podcast. So I'm just here in my house. I'm actually walking around the kitchen right now. I usually think better when I walk around. So hopefully nobody's going to interrupt our podcast. If anybody does, I apologize in advance. But today I want to talk to you guys about one of the biggest problems I feel our world faces today, and that is plastic. Now, I don't know where you guys are on the plastic awareness scale. I just made that up now. But I like to think of, you get some of us that are hardcore in there. We know everything that's happening with plastic. We will rather, die of thirst than buy a plastic water bottle. Then we have, those of us that are kind of in between, about the facts, but you're not exactly actively trying to do anything. And then you get those of us that just really don't care, or you don't know. Well, this episode is here for all of us today because A, we need to spread awareness and education around this topic, and B, because I have a challenge for each and every one of you, no matter where you are on your journey with plastic, on the plastic awareness scale, whether you're in it on the deep end or whether you're not even aware of it. So we're going to chat today about plastic and some of the facts and statistics that we spread that awareness and what we can do to lighten our plastic intake, if you want to put it that way. And then I'm going to give you guys a little challenge to do it's an incredible challenge, so we're going to chat about all of that. So first of all, plastic is everlasting. Plastic does not degrade. It simply breaks down. So if you use a plastic bag or, you have something wrapped in plastic, that piece of plastic, once you've thrown it in the bin or even in the recycling, okay, it might get recycled, but you can only recycle something so many times. It's still plastic though. And once it's reached the end of its, recycling lifetime, if it can be recycled, it will eventually just, end up to landfill as well, like everything else, like every other item of plastic or waste in our world. And it will remain there for, 1,000 years. I mean, it's hectic. Plastic will be here for the next 100 generations. We'll see plastic, Even if we were to stop all plastic production right now, the amount of plastic we have in our world right now is just beyond. You can't even comprehend. And that is going to be here still for hundreds of years. So that is why it's so important that we start taking action now, because there's already such a vast magnitude of plastic in our world. We don't want to now still be creating more of it, even though, yes, we are still creating more of it, but we need to really, really start implementing rules and laws and just changes every single day. Whether those changes are coming from government or the municipality or whatever it is, or whether they're coming from you or maybe a friend or a family member, we need to start making these changes. Every day, approximately 8 million pieces of plastic are finding their way into our oceans, and they are causing havoc. There are millions of animals die each year from plastic consumption. And plastic leaches contaminants and toxins and chemicals into our water and waterways. Even us, yes, the average human, consumes about 250 grams or a bank card's worth of plastic, I think, per month. I think it might be 250 grams per year and a bank card's worth per month. But I'm not entirely sure. Let's actually look at that statistic again. So don't trust me on 100%, but we do consume plastic. That is a fact. And plastic comes in many different forms, from big, large pieces that we see to tiny little pieces that we don't see. Microplastics coming off of all these, big items that eventually break down into small pieces. Microplastics also coming from things like face washes and toothpastes and washing powder with those little beads in them. And then you have microfibers. So you have plastic coming off our clothes because we literally wear plastic. So much of our clothes nowadays are made from synthetic fibers. So plastic, we're surrounded by it. It's all around us. And, yes, it's been so useful. I mean, you can't deny that plastic is useful and we use it for everything. But we really need to start, we have so much technology in the world right now. I mean, we've flown to freaking space. We should be able to come up with a solution for plastic. We should be able to come up with an alternative to plastic that isn't going to harm our environment and harm ourselves. So we really need to start stepping up, start making our changes, and start cutting our plastic. Because, sometimes as individuals, we think we have no power to create any change, that one little choice, one little action isn't going to make any difference in the broader spectrum of things, since, yes, we are like a population of 8 billion people, and at the end of the day, we are an overpopulated planet. But that doesn't mean that we've lost hope. That doesn't mean that there isn't a way. And that doesn't mean that our actions and our choices won't have an impact in this big ocean of people. Because the thing is that you and me, we're not the only people thinking about this. We're not the only people talking about this. And we're not the only people doing something about this. If you look on the news, if you look on social media, there's actually so much happening in the world right now, good and bad. And the thing is that we really need to focus on the good more, because I truly believe that the more we focus on the good, the more good we will see and the more good we will create. So if you look on the news, if you look on social media, you will find that there are so many people starting to stand up for our planet, starting to take action, standing up for plastic, taking action for plastic. And it's so incredibly inspiring. And it just goes to show that you are not the only person thinking about this. I am not the only person thinking about this. And I know sometimes it can feel like that, especially, for example, me. Here I am in my house in Renendal, which is, outside of Gneisenau, which is like a small town somewhere, nestled in the hills of the Garden Route. It's not exactly, like the most connected place in the world. But the amazing thing is that even in this little town, in this little area that I live, I already know quite a few people that are thinking the same as me and doing incredible things. And that is what's so inspiring. And that's also why I created this podcast, to talk to inspiring people about inspiring things, to inspire other people. It's all about inspiring and really spreading this message to just create a movement that is bigger. Create a movement that has more impact, because at the end of the day, when we all work together, we all think together, we're so much stronger. And so that's why I want to challenge you guys to something that is going to get us all standing together and taking action for plastic pollution, because it needs to end now. And oh no, I could just go on a rant about plastic, but I don't want to do that, and I'm not going to do that. That's why I'm going to talk about the solutions for plastic, because we need to, like I said, focus on the good and focus on what we can do instead of the other crap. So I want to challenge you all to take the plastic pledge. I've already taken the plastic pledge, and it's an amazing pledge because it's simple, and yet it's powerful, because the more of us that take this plastic pledge, or the more of us that stand together, and the more we can spread it, then hopefully we can create awareness for this. So the plastic pledge appeals to everyone. Organizations, individuals, the young, the old, anybody can take this plastic pledge. And all you have to do is pledge to avoid single-use plastic, reuse or recycle the plastic that you are already using, educate others about plastic waste, and take action to make plastic a thing of the past, and spread the word about the plastic pledge. So it's very, very simple. All you have to do is click the link below in this video. Below in this little description, or wherever it is that you are listening to this. Click the link and it will take you to the plastic pledge page. And then all you have to do is click I pledge if you're an individual. And you can take the plastic pledge just by adding your email address. And then it will, inform you that you've taken the plastic pledge, and you can post it all over social media and tell everybody that you took the hashtag plastic pledge. Make sure to use the hashtag plastic pledge, capital P's on both the plastic and the pledge. And share it with everyone, tell everyone that you've taken the plastic pledge. Then you can also click We Pledge if you're a business or an organization. And then you will just have to, fill out a little bit more to take the plastic pledge. But then your details will be added to all the awesome pledgers that have pledged the plastic pledge. I'm quickly interrupting this episode to bring you a little message from our amazing sponsors who've made this episode possible. I live in the beautiful town of Neisner in the Garden Route, and I want to invite everyone to visit this fantastic part of our country. We have everything: indigenous forests, nature reserves, awesome views, beautiful beaches, and natural wildlife. Come for a dream vacation. Oh, and I almost forgot. Neisner has some of the best restaurants you will find anywhere. Follow us on Instagram at @visitgardenroute, where we will introduce you to our fantastic and favorite people, places, and things to visit. This is us on Instagram @visitgardenroute. And now, without further ado, let's get on with the rest of the episode. So it's a really awesome thing to do, and I really, really hope that you take the plastic pledge. And if you do, make sure to use the hashtag plastic pledge and also tag me on social media if you take the plastic pledge. Please take the plastic pledge. And the cool thing about this plastic pledge is that it's not hard. You don't have to, you don't have to pay anything. You don't have to go anywhere. You just got to take the pledge, and you've just got to start taking action. And listen, okay? I know it can seem really daunting at first. Especially if you're in the beginning stages and what the heck is single-use plastic, and what can I recycle and what can't I recycle? Also, I really hope you might be hearing my screaming goats in the background. If you can, I apologize for that. They want to be let out and they want to play around. So I will do that with them after this podcast episode. Guys, please hang on. Just give me a couple more minutes. I'm just busy over here. Thank you. Okay, as I was saying, it can be extremely daunting and you might not know where to start. So I'm just going to give you a couple of simple tips that will help you on your way. So first of all, single-use plastics are the most popular plastics, if you want to put it that way. They're the ones that are also the most problematic, because We use them all the time for almost everything, but we only use them like once. Yeah, doesn't make any sense. Really just doesn't make any sense. I mean, why would you create something that lasts a lifetime if you're only going to use it once? But anyway, we're not going to go there. We are looking at the bright side of life, people. So, single-use plastics, think all the things like packaging, single-use plastic bags that they give you at the shops, all that good, lovely stuff. That is all single-use plastic. So if you bought a packet of biscuits and it was in a plastic wrapper, that is single-use plastic. If you, bought something, you put it in a plastic bag and you threw the bag away, that is a single-use plastic. So single-use plastics is all the plastics that we just use once and throw away. Now, tips for avoiding single-use plastics are, first of all, have your own shopping bags. Bring them everywhere you go, attach them to yourself so you don't forget them. Have multiple reusable cloth bags with you at all times. Have a set in the car, have a set at home, have a set in your bag, have a set under the pillow. Just surround yourself with bags. If you want to know more about reusable cloth bags, head to info what the bag on Instagram or what the bag movement on Facebook, and you can follow my plastic bag campaign or anti-plastic bag campaign to learn, educate, and maybe get your very own set of reusable cloth bags. Anyway, that was just a mini little shout out. So yeah, bring your own bags. Then don't buy, the stuff wrapped in plastic when you go to the shop. Don't buy the apples in a plastic bag. Buy the loose apples, but then don't put the loose apples in a plastic bag. Put the loose apples in your own reusable cloth bag, okay? Because a lot of the times I see people getting their loose stuff, but then they put it in a plastic bag. And I'm just like, what? It doesn't really make any sense. So if you're going to buy something loose, don't put it in a plastic bag because it's literally the same thing. Put it in a reusable bag. Then also, if you go to a restaurant, you don't need a straw unless you have some kind of medical condition. You don't need a straw, just sip from the cup or get your own straw. There are all kinds of cool and trendy bamboo, stainless steel straws that you can buy. And it's pretty much, in fashion to have your own reusable straw. So if you want to hop on that train, hop on that train. Then also bring your own jars, containers with you when you go out. Maybe you're out in town, you're hungry suddenly, you go into the shop, and they have that salad bar area, and then, dang it, you didn't bring anything with you, and you just use one of those plastics. No, just have a jar or have a Tupperware in your car at all times so that if you suddenly get a snack attack or something, you can just grab that, put your little salad or whatever it is in your reusable container and skip the plastic. Also, always bring your own reusable water bottle. That's simple. It's water bottles, they usually look nice, so who wouldn't want to have one? And, it also, plus side, keeps you hydrated, you drink more water. I personally, I don't know, I feel like drinking water out of a plastic bottle, it just seems bad for you, think about the health of the planet and think about your own health. Plastic leaches a lot of chemicals, and you don't want that in your body. So, let's go on to the next step. So reusing or recycling the plastic that you already use. So it's time to get creative. Look at what you already have. So say you have some plastic containers, or I was talking about those little salad things, those little salad containers of plastic ones. You don't have to throw them out. Just because maybe you have some plastic in your home doesn't mean that you have to get rid of all of it suddenly. Keep it, you can use it again, be wise and be mindful. And then with recycling, it's seriously important to know what can be recycled in your town or the area that you live. Because believe it or not, it is different from place to place. So educate yourself on that. Maybe go to your recycling depot or something and find out what you can and cannot recycle, because that is very important. Then educate others about plastic waste. Now that's not hard at all, just start by sharing with your friends, your family, maybe host a talk or something, maybe watch a documentary or host like a movie screening. You can make all kinds of fun things out of this stuff and just start educating people on it. Share the plastic pledge with them. That's the best way. And then take action to make plastic a thing of the past. So how do you do that? Well, in your own life, like I said, reduce it, refuse it, and just, it's like, just start deleting plastic out of your mind. Like, it doesn't even exist. Like, for example, this whole summer, I have not eaten grapes or strawberries or blueberries because they always come in a plastic punnet. And for me, like, if it's in plastic, it just doesn't exist. So that's just, for me, that's like my personal sacrifice, if you want to call it that. But for me, I don't see it like, oh no, poor me, I haven't eaten grapes or anything, because there's plenty of other fruit I can eat. And quite frankly, like, I'm not going to die if I don't eat those grapes in a plastic punnet. But another animal, a whale, a dolphin, might die if they eat that plastic punnet that my grapes came in. So just think about that. Next time you're at the shop and you're reaching for something and you're buying something or whatever it is, just think, what consequence is my action going to have right now? What consequence is it going to have beyond just me and my little world? What consequence is it going to have it on, the other life around me and on the planet? So, I think the most important thing about trying to make plastic a thing of the past is just being mindful. So just being super duper mindful of what you're doing and what you're thinking. So just become more mindful. And then spread the word about the plastic pledge. I'm sure that's not too hard to do. Like I said, tell your friends, tell your family, WhatsApp it to them, Facebook it, Instagram it, Twitter it, TikTok it, whatever cool, jazzy stuff you want to do. Shout it out from the rooftops. Write it. Go old-fashioned, pen and paper. I don't care. As long as you share it, spread the message, spread the education, spread the awareness, spread the pledge. Right, guys, I hope this has been insightful, and I hope that you take the plastic pledge, and I hope that, maybe some of what I'm saying has resonated with you. Maybe you've been thinking along the same lines as me. Maybe you're completely new to this. Wherever you are, just know that you are all welcome in this space. We don't discriminate. It's not like a competition of who's not been using plastic the longest or who's using the least amount of plastic. I know that sometimes these things can just get hectic, especially with social media. People starting to shout each other out oh, you're not good enough because of you did this and that. And it's not about that, guys. It's just about creating a wholesome community and a wholesome movement that just embraces everyone and embraces the whole of society, because we cannot create change if we exclude and discriminate, right? If we want to actually really create change, we have to include and accept everyone and allow everyone into this space, that we can create a beautiful space that is represented by hundreds, millions, billions of different people and different thought patterns and different backgrounds and different ways of doing things. But if we all as individuals are still working towards that goal or towards that vision and towards the actions of, reducing our waste and living with the planet in mind, then however we're doing that is perfect. And I just want you to know that wherever you are on your journey, it doesn't matter. You are welcome here, and you are welcome to have a voice and spread your message. So I just want to say a big, big thank you for listening in today, for supporting the podcast, and for being you and making your little bit of magic in the world. Enjoying the show? Then please support us so that we can continue making awesome episodes just for you. A minimum donation of 100 Rand will get you or your business listed on the Earth Chats page as a sponsor with a link to you or your business. Please visit the link below to make your contribution. Thank you for tuning in to the Earth Chats podcast and supporting the show. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you feel someone else could maybe benefit from hearing this conscious conversation, please do give it a share. And that's it for now, guys. I'll see you next week.